Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. Welcome to day 29 of watercolor month. I am doing a botanical inspired watercolor month, and as you can see, we're coming to the end, and here I have a full page left for day 31, which I'm planning something a little special, and so we have 2 days left before that. I have gone ahead and done the main flower illustrations on both of them because we're going to continue for this double spread with the mandalas. I really have enjoyed them, and so I had an idea of turning one of my elements into lilacs, and I wanted to show you how to do that. Before we jump into building the illustration further, I have already stamped out the swatching area with the palette swatcher stamp set. I have used this element right here. And we're also going to use some of the elements from summer florals and botanical stamp sets. All of them are available on my website, alyonacreates.com. As my main element today, I want to use this berry cluster, and I have used it already. So if we look into this illustration here, I wanted to, however, turn it into lilacs. So that will be the main, and then I will use a few others to build around it in between. From the botanical set, I'm going to ink up the element and stamp it 4 times. I'm wiping the end bit of this element just to make it shorter than the top and the bottom, as I like the more elongated shape of the botanical mandalas. Because we will be adding petals to these elements and there are loads of these berries to go through, I want to keep the rest fairly simple, and for that I want to use this element here, which is going to add greenery. Because lilac will be purple, I like a zesty green color with it. Just very central in between these elements. We want some space here for the petals. And now I'm going to add something on each of the top and the bottom part. I wonder how this element would look, just the black. I'll go ahead with it. So I'm just going to stamp this bit here at the top. Usually I just fill it in with black. We'll see what I do today. I may or may not do that. But it has created a lovely height to the composition. Now with 01, I will begin to line out all the elements, and I will line them out as they are, and then I will show you what we're going to do to these berries. After you have lined everything out, you might want to have a look and see if there's any area that you want to fill in, either with a little filler stamp element, so it could be little flowers, berries, or these kind of berries that I fill in with black, or in this case, when there is only space on these 2 sides rather than all 4, what you can do is just by hand add a couple more berries in the same style, just to fill in this space, and do exactly the same mirrored on this side. Before we go ahead and add watercolor, I'm going to show you how to turn these berries into lilac. So start with the bigger berries and just add a few small petal-like details. I would do just 3. I'm not going to do it on all of them because I want some of them to look like little buds that haven't been opened yet. But basically do kind of like scallop shapes and then go through the others. Now let's start with watercolor. First of all, I'm going to start with my lilacs, and for that I'm going to use a very strong purple. I'm going to actually use my botanical palette for that. So the purple is super intense, so I'm going to need to control it a little bit. And I'm also going to add a bit of blue into it, I think. Maybe a bit more. So that's a good purple. It will look really nice with zesty greens. So I'm going to start by adding this purple also into these small areas here that I usually just fill in with the black liner. I'm going to also turn it into bud-like details to make it look like they're part of the lilacs. I'm just going to go through all of these little details and fill them in with purple. It takes a little while to fill in all of these tiny little petals, but it's really calming and relaxing. Now I'm going to go in straight into the purple without mixing the blue into it, and make sure that it's a nice and kind of saturated mix. And with this purple, I'm going to add it into these tiny buds that we have created here, and we're going to add a little more contrast into our lilac. Now going into those petals that we drew on, we're going to add this color throughout the petals. So now you can see the petals stand out a little more from the other part of the flowers. Repeat this step throughout all of these tiny petals. Next we're going to add a lovely green, and I think with this color palette the green that will work beautifully is the green gold. Today I'm not going to add any colors to mix in, just straight out of the pen. You will notice that I haven't added any color to the main flower yet. That is because I have a lot of purple, which is not my favorite color, and so, but I do like the lilacs. So there's certain tones of purple that I will tolerate. However, I find it difficult to find a color palette that works so well with purple. So that's why I'm leaving the main flower to the last, so I can kind of analyze what we have already and can fit in the color into the existing color palette. I decided to go for Aussie Red Gold. Orange and this kind of blue toned purple will sit nicely together. I feel like I want to add a little bit more color, so I'm going to stamp the smallest flower into 4 of these areas. And I'm going to go with the slightly bigger flower, also from the Summer Floral set. And that is going to go at the top here. It doesn't really need it for length, but I do feel like this color palette is so purple heavy that I'm trying to add a bit more without adding any more kind of flower detail, because we have so much going on with lilacs. So now I'm going to add the hot pink into here. Now you can leave it at that, but this color palette is not working for me. The purple is overwhelmingly strong and I cannot stand purple, even though this color I thought I'd be okay with. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first of all start by glazing at the top of this orange with opera pink. So we still have the orange come through, and then I'm just going to intensify it in a few areas. Just like that. I decided to do a bit more glazing, but this is totally optional because it obviously takes time. But if you're not happy with the color 100% and you want to kind of link your color palette more together, you can do the glazes. Just make sure that the previous layer of watercolor is completely dry. So I'm just taking a little mix here of opera pink and just going over the purple buds, and I'm keeping the dark purple as it is, just adding a little bit here, and that to me is a lot more harmonious. I kind of have to feel the color palette, and lately, especially if something doesn't work, I have to fix it. Like, I can't just leave it alone. I'm also going to go ahead and add a little bit of a yellow over the top of the opera pink, again to link things slightly more. I've got Indian yellow here, and I'm just going to go over the pink. That links towards the orange. Let's swatch out our colors. So we have got yellow, which is Indian yellow. I've got a total of 6 colors. So what I'm going to do is just do double swatches for each of the colors. And then I'm going to do one of the colors 3 times. I'll do the opera pink 3 times. And then we have got the blue. I think I'll go with the blue first. And then the purple. and finally the green. I have gone the extra mile and added a few more elements, and just wanted to show you that you can carry on building and adding things to make it feel right for you. So I have added the same of the leaf element just a few more times because I felt like those individual 4 areas were a little bit contrasting, not in a good way, and so now it's more balanced and built on. I have also added some cute little round scallop shaped petals to the flowers and added a few more of them throughout. And that is it. So I hope you enjoyed this floral mandala. I will show you a little close-up before I go, of course. Here is the close-up. You can see the detail, and it has more detail than it did before, so it's up to you how minimal you want to go or how detailed you want to do it. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you on day 30.